Weather is the story of our atmosphere, always in motion, a living, breathing force that shapes every moment of our lives. From the highest clouds to the deepest valleys, the air above us is never still. It is a restless dance, a constant interplay of sun, wind, and water that connects every corner of our planet. This ever-changing atmosphere shapes our lives and landscapes, sculpting mountains, nourishing forests, and painting the skies with color and light. The weather is not just a backdrop. It is a powerful actor in the story of Europe, influencing everything from the crops we grow to the traditions we cherish. For centuries, Europe's weather patterns have guided farmers, animals, and entire cultures. Generations have watched the skies, reading the clouds and winds to know when to plant, when to harvest, and when to seek shelter. The rhythm of the seasons has been a trusted companion, shaping the way people live, work, and celebrate across the continent. The sun's uneven heating creates pressure systems, driving winds that shape our climate. These invisible forces set the stage for everything that happens below, from gentle breezes that cool summer afternoons to powerful storms that sweep across the land. Westerly winds from the Atlantic have long brought rain and mild temperatures deep into Europe. These winds carry moisture that feeds rivers and lakes, turning fields green and filling forests with life. They are the reason for Europe's famously mild climate and the gentle rains that have sustained its people for generations. These cycles were once so reliable that we built our lives around them. Festivals, markets, and daily routines all followed the steady pulse of the weather, creating a sense of order and security that lasted for centuries. But now, the familiar rhythms are breaking down. The patterns we once trusted are shifting, and the certainty we felt is giving way to uncertainty. The seasons arrive late or early, and the weather can change in an instant. The weather is growing more erratic, the patterns less predictable. Sudden storms appear without warning, and long dry spells are broken by intense downpours. The balance that once defined our climate is slipping away. The gentle breathing of our planet is interrupted by sudden storms and extremes. Floods, heat waves, and violent winds are becoming more common, leaving communities to pick up the pieces after each new event. The weather of our childhoods may not be the weather of our future. The memories of gentle summers and predictable winters are fading, replaced by uncertainty and concern for what lies ahead. We must listen closely to what the changing winds and rains are telling us. Each shift in the weather is a message, a sign that our planet is changing and that we must adapt. The story of our atmosphere is being rewritten before our eyes. Every storm, every drought, every unexpected frost is a new chapter in a tale that affects us all, no matter where we live. Our planet's breath is no longer steady. It's strained, and we're all feeling the effects. From city streets to rural villages, people are learning to cope with new challenges, finding ways to stay safe and protect what matters most. The time to pay attention is now. By understanding the changes in our atmosphere, we can prepare for the future and work together to protect the world we share. The story of our weather is still being written, and we all have a part to play. The signs of change are impossible to ignore. Across Europe, the weather is sending unmistakable signals that something fundamental is shifting in our climate. In 2024, London endured record-breaking heat, with temperatures soaring past 40 degrees Celsius. Streets shimmered in the relentless sun, and the city's parks, usually lush and green, turned brown and brittle. For many Londoners, it was the hottest summer in living memory, straining infrastructure and challenging daily life. Meanwhile, Greece and Italy faced catastrophic floods, sweeping away homes and ancient groves. Torrential rains turned peaceful towns into rivers overnight, forcing thousands to evacuate and leaving behind a trail of destruction. Centuries-old olive trees and vineyards, symbols of Mediterranean heritage, were uprooted in the chaos. Spain's lowlands saw rare, heavy snow, blanketing regions that hadn't seen such snowfall in decades. Farmers and residents alike were caught off guard as fields and roads disappeared under thick drifts, disrupting travel and daily routines. At the same time, Scandinavia experienced unusually mild, rainy winters. Instead of the expected deep freeze and snow, cities saw persistent rain and gray skies, confusing wildlife and altering seasonal patterns. Hailstorms devastated vineyards in northern Italy. Grape harvests were ruined in minutes, threatening the livelihoods of local farmers and impacting the region's famous wine industry. Droughts shrank the Rhine and Loire to historic lows, Once mighty rivers became narrow trickles, exposing riverbeds and disrupting shipping, agriculture, and water supplies for millions. These aren't isolated incidents, they're part of a troubling trend. Each event, while dramatic on its own, is a piece of a much larger puzzle. Each event is a headline, but together, they reveal a clear narrative. Europe's climate is shifting before our eyes, and the consequences are becoming impossible to ignore. Europe's once stable weather is becoming extreme and unpredictable. The familiar rhythms of the seasons are breaking down, replaced by volatility and surprise. The natural order feels flipped, with southern regions getting northern conditions, and vice versa. It's as if the continent's climate map is being redrawn in real time. The stable system we relied on is now unstable and dangerous. Communities are struggling to adapt, and the risks to health, agriculture, and infrastructure are mounting. The climate we knew is changing fast. As these extremes become the new normal, Europe faces a future where adaptation and resilience are more important than ever. The breakdown of old patterns is reshaping our climate. Seasons no longer transition gently. We lurch from cold, wet springs to scorching summers. The jet stream, once steady, now forms deep, lingering loops, locking extreme weather in place. A stuck jet stream means weeks of heat waves, drought, or relentless rain. Boundaries between Arctic and temperate air are blurring, bringing snow to Spain and warmth to Scandinavia. Extreme events are more frequent and intense. Heavier downpours, stronger storms. The rules have changed. Expect the unexpected. Weather is no longer following the old script. Power and unpredictability now define Europe's climate. The main driver behind these dramatic changes is global warming, a phenomenon that is being accelerated by human activity on an unprecedented scale. Our modern way of life, from the energy we use to the products we consume, is fundamentally altering the planet's delicate balance. Burning fossil fuels, like coal, oil, and natural gas for electricity, transportation, and industry has wrapped the Earth in a thick, invisible blanket of greenhouse gases. These gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, trap heat in our atmosphere, preventing it from escaping into space and causing the planet to warm. The effects are especially pronounced in the Arctic, which is warming 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the planet. This rapid warming is melting sea ice and glaciers at alarming rates, and it's also weakening the jet stream, a powerful river of wind that shapes weather patterns across the northern hemisphere. When the jet stream weakens, it becomes wavier and slower, causing weather systems to stall. This leads to more erratic, locked-in weather patterns, prolonged heat waves, heavy rainfall, and unseasonal storms. Our oceans, which absorb over 90% of the excess heat from global warming, are expanding as they warm. This not only raises sea levels, but also fuels stronger, more destructive storms that batter coastlines and flood communities. Warmer Atlantic waters now carry more moisture and energy, supercharging Europe's storms and increasing the risk of flooding and coastal erosion. Our actions have set off a chain reaction. Trapped heat leads to rising temperatures, which in turn create unstable and unpredictable weather. Droughts, heat waves, and water shortages are becoming more common, affecting agriculture and daily life. The climate system is deeply interconnected. Change one part, and the entire tapestry begins to unravel. Forests, rivers, mountains, and cities are all linked, and disruptions in one area ripple across the whole system. The evidence is clear and undeniable. Our atmosphere is changing because of us. Air quality is declining, weather is becoming more extreme, and the signs are visible in every corner of Europe. The consequences are already here. Floods, wildfires, and heat waves are no longer distant threats. They are realities the communities are facing right now. The time to act is running out. Every moment counts, and the choices we make today will determine the future of our planet and generations to come. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, is Europe's climate engine. It brings warm water north, giving Western Europe its mild climate. Melting Greenland ice is flooding the North Atlantic with fresh water, slowing this vital current. A weaker AMOC could paradoxically cool Northern Europe, bringing harsher winters and hotter, drier summers. Storm tracks may shift, reversing traditional weather patterns. Scientists warn we may be nearing a climate tipping point. The slowdown is already underway, threatening Europe's delicate climate balance. The Atlantic's fever signals system-wide changes in motion. The consequences are only beginning to unfold. The volatility of recent years will intensify in 2025 and beyond. Winters will swing between mild rainy spells and sudden, severe cold snaps. Powerful Atlantic storms will bring destructive winds and flooding to Western Europe. Summers will be marked by heat waves and drought, stretching into central and northern regions. Cities will become heat islands, and wildfires will threaten new areas. Water shortages and health warnings will become more common. Daily routines and landscapes will change as the climate shifts. The new normal is unpredictability. By 2026, extremes will intensify further. Heat waves may last weeks, not days, straining health and infrastructure. Rivers like the Rhine and Danube could reach record lows, disrupting transport and power. The Mediterranean may see violent summer storms after months of drought, causing flash floods and erosion. Northern Europe could face a mix of cool, wet spells and sudden bursts of extreme heat. The clash of a slowing AMOC and background warming will create unstable conditions. Tourism, agriculture, and daily life will all be affected. The reliable seasons of the past are gone. Europe's climate is now a cycle of drought and flood, heat and unpredictability. The landscape and the people are caught between extremes. The future demands adaptation. These changes touch every part of daily life. Agriculture suffers as unpredictable weather shrinks harvests and raises food prices. Travel is disrupted by heat, wildfires, and floods. Traditional summer holidays may shift north as southern Europe becomes dangerously hot. Homes and cities, built for milder climates, struggle with new extremes. Insurance costs rise, and the sense of security is challenged. Health risks, from heat stroke to respiratory problems, grow, especially for the vulnerable. Mental health suffers under the stress of constant uncertainty. Our bodies, minds, and communities must adapt. The impacts are personal and immediate. We are living through a profound transformation. The gentle, predictable weather of the past is gone, replaced by volatility and extremes. The science is clear. Human-driven warming is overloading the climate system. This is not a temporary phase, but a new normal. Our response must be twofold: reduce emissions and adapt to the changes already underway. Governments must invest in resilience, flood defenses, early warnings, and support for farmers. Homes and cities need retrofitting for heat and storms. On a personal level, preparation and community support are vital. The world is changing, and so must we. Our future depends on our willingness to act together.